Hello, this is Natalie Zangon again. So I had made a promise that I'm going to do these two videos. So I was speaking to a friend of mine that I see a lot of interesting correlation with attachment style, early attachment style, and its impact in later on life in your romantic, emotional, intimate relationship and the effect it has. And I was thinking to myself, is how interesting is it that on Pesach night we have the four sons that ask the questions, right? And I said to myself, oh my goodness, under the attachment style, we also have four style. So the first one is the CHACHAM. The CHACHAM is the wise one that asks the questions from a very confident place with security and self sufficient and asks about the question in a we way, including himself because he's stable. He was loved, he's content. So I said that that one, the Chacham, is like the person with a secure attachment, which is able to see the world from a very confident, hopeful, lovable, emotionally safe environment. That he had a caregiver that was able to provide for him what he need, so he's able to be vulnerable, to be curious, to be loved, to ask questions, and to be in an emotionally safe relationship, right? Then we have the other three sons, which is almost so interesting for me. Then you have the, let's go to the RASHA. The RASHA, I said, is compared to the disorganized attachment. That's the one that the caregiver was all over the place, sometimes struggling with emotional mental illness, sometimes with schizophrenia or severe depression, that they would feed the child, but they were not present. A lot of people that are brought up with attachment style like this, they grow up becoming very, very narcissistic, self centered, very detached, no emotional. Like they come to the table, they say, "What are you doing?" Like just like we learn about the Russia. And a lot of it has been impacted by their early attachment style, which is called disorganized attachment. Um, and fear, I think it's fearful disorganized, but the disorganized is the classic part. And many of them grow up not being able to have a healthy attachment to their loved ones in an emotional stable space, that even vulnerability or thriving emotionally connectivity doesn't make sense to them. Unfortunately, they develop really bad maladaptive behavior, doing a lot of inappropriate watching and behaving and extramarital relationship. And in order for them to heal through it, it's not about blaming their partner. It's about getting the help they need to heal from their own attachment trauma to be able to create a healthy attachment and get to the chacham side instead of that side. Then you have the other two, the one that doesn't ask the question, and then you have the simple one. So I said um, the simple one, the Tom, the Tom would be like the anxious one, the one that has more of an anxious attachment. They're not really sure how to, they're not, or maybe we could like call the Tom one the avoidant attachment, and we call the one that doesn't ask more like the anxious one. So the Tom one would be avoided attachment. They keep to themselves. They're concerned. They don't. They're very like self-reserved. They're very into themselves, and they too have a hard time attaching and asking questions. And the one that doesn't ask is the anxious attachment, because they're just so anxious, they're nervous, they're concerned. They don't even know if there's a point of asking because they're so afraid of abandonment and so afraid of connecting. So I feel like these four sons could be connected to the four attachment style. To wrap it up, Chacham would be the one with secure attachment. Rasha would be the one with disorganized attachment. Tom would be the one with avoidant attachment. And the anxious attachment would be the one that doesn't know how to ask or verbalize their requests. So this was a pirush I came up with myself. It's really interesting. You should look up attachment style. There's free quizzes online. If you're married, have your partner do it also and learn about your attachment style, because our attachment styles affect the kind of attachment we create with our loved ones and our spouses into adulthood, because that's the file we created in our brain, and we need to heal through that to be able to create healthier relationship in our adult life.